In this video, I'm going to give you some key mindsets that will help you believe in yourself and believe that your desire and dream life is truly and certainly going to manifest for you. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tom, and I make videos that help you empower your higher self and manifest your dream life. If you'd like to win 60 minutes of one-on-one coaching with me, comment below, it is done. Winners are announced every week. As I sometimes do, I'd like to start off this video with a story of mine, a real-life personal story that inspired this whole topic. So back in April this year, I was working in a full-time job in IT. I desperately wanted to get out of this 9-to-5 job and align in a career and a purpose that was passionate to me, that lit me up inside, and that aligned with those deeper values I had about freedom and love. But I was still very much not seeing results. And I would go in every day to this IT job and sit in these meeting rooms, talk about things that I didn't care about whatsoever, and have people that were a lot older than me at the time sort of pressuring me to see this life, this job, as a real golden ticket, even though it meant very little to me. I was grateful, but I wasn't aligned at that soul level that I deeply knew was possible for me and desired. And this is maybe something that you can resonate with whatever you desire. You have a deep connection to it. It's authentic and it lights you up. And so I would go into this office and I would know all this theory about the law of attraction, how beliefs create reality, how my imagination manifests on the screen of space. And I was doing this, but lo and behold, nothing was changing. Nothing as quickly was changing as I wanted it to, despite everything I was going through. But in applying these mindsets, one thing led to the other, and a new job opportunity sprung up that I aligned into. That was in a personal development company, and I've got a full video on that story if you want to check that out. And I kept applying these techniques and mindsets, and all of a sudden, that job even fell away. I went traveling to India, had some realizations there that further aligned me, that was all part of this process, all part of this belief-building process. And then I found myself finally in a place where I have that sense of congruence. And it's very early days, but it's enough for me to see the patterns emerge. And then to realize what I didn't do correctly and what I did do correctly in gaining that inner belief to trust myself and the manifestation process at large. And it has ended in the direction that I originally felt was true and possible and right for me. And that is the same thing and same destination that will happen for you. So whether you want to manifest a specific person or a loving relationship, or perhaps it's a purpose in a career that is meaningful, has a certain impact for you, or even a material, physical desire and financial abundance that allows you to live with freedom. Whatever this is, and wherever you are on this journey, no matter what you're feeling in terms of doubt and fear and lack of belief in yourself and the possibility that you will manifest this for real one day, these mindsets all apply for you and those desires. So the key mindset number one is you are right. And what I'm talking about is that original spark that you felt when you first connected with that desire in your heart. And you felt amazing, you felt excited, you felt alive, you felt love. And it's because it resonated with you, and a part of you, and if you believe in this, your higher self, was signaling to you through your emotional guidance system that yes, you're right, you are a creator, this is right for you, this is part of your authentic soul's purpose, and your journey to expand your own self, your character, and your consciousness. And yet, after that original connection, that motivation wanes and it becomes more foggy as we try and then make the internal shifts and take the external action to then align with it. And we forget about that desire, and sometimes we can even discredit that original feeling we felt where we were connected to that authentic part of ourselves that lit up when we really tapped into that desire with fresh eyes. So I'd like to return you to that and emphasize that you were right in that moment. Your heart was true. Turn back into that and reflect on that and get in touch with that core motivation again. And that reason why you are embarked on this manifestation process towards realizing your desire in the first place. So that intuitive mechanism and intelligence that led you to arrive and select that desire, or that higher self guidance that resulted in that emotion, is what was true and what you can tap into once again. So tap into it. And that's the key mindset one, is to trust that you are always right in the first place and nothing has changed about that. And number two is to realize that the narrative is good. What do I mean by narrative? Well, what happens is we have this original desire and then we start the internal shifting process and the external action process towards manifesting it. Meaning we start imagining, we start various belief shifting techniques, or we start taking physical action as applicable and as aligned as possible. Obviously not forcing it or assuming that we have to do things in a rigid, hard-working way necessarily, but generally there is one foot after the other action. And as we go on this process, we're like the hero that leaves on the journey. And we leave from that safe vantage point where we have a clear connection to our desire, and it all feels very good and it's all inspiring in theory, and we start to walk the walk. And when we get on that path, we set sail from the shore on a boat and we start to go through misty ocean waters. Various things are breaking down, various signs are coming in and out, and internally various emotional episodes of purging are happening. They're very intense. Backlashes, all kinds of things happening on the internal landscape. And all this is part of your story. And that's a fantastic sign, because in the story is where life is truly lived and external results are truly manifested. They generally don't happen at the shore. You have to set sail, and that is what you're doing. But of course, when the ego is stretched, all of that process quickly makes us feel overwhelmed. And that's where our belief in ourself, belief in our path perfectly unfolding, get challenged within ourselves. And we start to feel doubt and fear. But that's all normal. And that, in fact, is an essential part of going on that journey. And if you weren't experiencing this, you wouldn't actually be aligning with your dream reality and your desire. You would still be the old self, passively waiting along the sides. And that place is okay to be in. And also that place shouldn't be confused with a state of apathy or defeat, which can still happen along the journey. So you may be feeling low emotions. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean you're on the sidelines, but that you're on a resting point within the hero's journey. But if we follow this analogy, this metaphor of the hero's journey, being on the path, being consumed by the events of the narrative as a good sign, then what happens is, in Joseph Campbell's work, is he describes how the hero eventually reaches a point where he has a peak experience. He comes out the other side of the mist in the ocean and a rainbow appears. But you have to sail through the mist. And that is the process. And that is why it's worthy of still believing in yourself despite what is going on around you. And so when I was in IT, all of this stuff happening to me internally and externally, even as chaotic as it appeared, even as misaligned and a lack of evidence as it seemed to my logical mind, all of it was a perfect unfolding process that really reflected me sailing through that misty ocean storm, coming out the other side. And that if I trusted in that and realized that it was all normal, that belief would have been there more strongly. And from an energetic standpoint, if you zoom out from your path and look at it like an ant, pretend you're an ant for a second. If you've ever seen an ant going along a stick or a tree, and you kind of see it bumping around, and it kind of bumps its head and then it pauses, and then it goes a different way, bumps its head and then it pauses, and it kind of works its way up and goes to that destination it's trying to get to, but it feels its way. And that's what's happening to you at that big picture scale and scope, is that energy itself within you, the consciousness that you are, is going back and forth, aligning with that life. And all the events that you experience are merely like the ant bumping against something. It's energy clashing and then energy aligning, and that's what you're experiencing as you're merging more with that reality. So you can trust in that turbulence if your life has not yet caught up to truly reflect your desire and what you want and who you have become. Because this narrative process, being in the storyline, being so consumed by it, is the very sign that this is the case, that this positive path is unfolding for you. And number 3 for believing in yourself is to believe in the laws that are greater than you. The laws of how energy aligns with itself and harmonizes with the same frequency of its kind. How chaos merges into order. And the power of the subconscious mind, the power of our thought energy and its impact that it has on our physical external reality and the beliefs around that we know are backed by science. There is so much theory that you know, and if you don't know it, there's various videos where I cover this theory from a spiritual and scientific basis. But basically, you can trust in these laws as long as you keep taking one foot in front of the other and keep raising your frequency of consciousness to align with your reality and your beliefs and your emotions in your imaginal scenes, imagination. The events, the physical circumstances in your life must reflect that shift. So by trusting in the external laws of reality creation, you simultaneously enter in a frequency where it's easier to trust yourself. So I hope these 3 key mindsets have helped you believe in yourself. And some practical tips for this would be to, as I said earlier, tap into your original inspiring vision or inspiring person who has walked a similar path or created a similar dream that you want to create. And be around them, be influenced by their energy and feel the possibility for you. Next thing is keep going. Take one foot after the other. Keep up your practices and keep showing up in life in general with that sense that it will shift, it must shift, it is the law. And then finally, keep meditating, programming your subconscious, and studying. Study the material so that your belief system at a foundational level will also give you that sense of belief. So again, similar to trusting in the laws, by understanding both the science and spiritual ideas that back the reality creation process. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, and if you'd like some one-on-one coaching with me, just check out my website. It'd be great to have you for a session. Thank you.